everyone, I am Ariel, founder and president of Southern Crescent Women in Business, and this is season 4 of Women Live TV, content created by women for women. That's right, everyone, you heard me, season 4 of Women Live TV.
I basically keep the IRS off your ASS so you can live tax-free and happy.
I am the owner of the Dazzle Diva collection, where I get the opportunity to dazzle women and men for less.
Everything we have learned is from my grandmother.
I'm a veteran who was raised by another veteran.
Southern girl, just trying to do something different, do something better for myself and my family.
We are the only African American or woman-owned business that does what we do.
You can find us on Amazon Prime, Amazon TV, all YouTube channels, as well as social media. Welcome to another episode of Women Live TV. I am your host, Ariel Shaw, founder and president of Southern Crescent Women in Business, and we are in season 4 of Women Live TV. I am so excited to have our next guest, Miss Demetria Winters. Demetria, tell everybody, what is the name of your business?
The name of my business is Black Butterfly Queens Life Coaching, and I do life, health, and wellness with a focus on trauma recovery.
Amazing. And you know, Demetria, I'm so excited, one, that you're sitting on the couch this time, because what most people don't know is when we filmed, I think it was the first season, the very first season, season 1, Demetria was on set helping behind the scenes.
Right.
And I'm just so glad that we are now where you are on the couch and we're talking. So tell everybody, you know, what does Black Butterflies Coaching actually do?
Well, the main focus, like I said, is trauma recovery because of my own history of childhood trauma and the fact that it really affected my life tremendously, even into adulthood. So what we do is, I say I have a personal experience with a professional eye. So I kind of mix in my discovering myself and learning how to work on my own triggers and coping skills, as well as I became a psychiatric nurse about 2.5 years ago so that I could help others like me.
And you have a background, you're a veteran. Talk a little bit about that.
Yes, actually I'm a veteran who was raised by another veteran who I suspect had undiagnosed PTSD, and that was part of the traumatic childhood thing. I went into the Army, and it was my way of running away from home. A lot of people don't know I had a straight A average in school and actually won a full ride, but instead of taking it, I ran away and left.
Wow. And so you served in the military. Talk about that time in the military.
While I was in the military, it helped me a lot to become more disciplined. However, it didn't help my trauma. And in fact, unfortunately, some things trigger my trauma that much more. But I've been a soldier all my life, so I just pushed through. I went on autopilot for years.
Yeah.
So, yeah, served. I did my training in South Carolina at Fort Jackson.
Okay.
And I ended up doing service in Arizona.
Okay.
Human Proving Ground.
So you mentioned trauma a couple times, and that's at the crux of why you started your business and who your target market is.
Yes.
So for those that are seeking assistance with moving past trauma,
Exactly.
You guys assist with that.
Yes.
In what way?
We assist, like I said, from my experience as a professional,
Right.
and personally, there are ways that I've figured out how to not just stay in that trauma, but learn how to cope better, learn better coping skills, as well as a lot of people don't know, anyone that's under the age of 18, they actually say 0 to 17. So 0 tells you that's when you're in your mom's belly.
Right.
That there's something called adverse childhood experiences, and it's been, if you look at the CDC's statistics, it can is connected to chronic health issues, including obesity, heart conditions, diabetes.
So these are the things that are happening as a result.
Yes.
How are you assisting with them moving past it?
So I do what I call a plan of care. A lot of my nurses know what that means. That means that you look at the whole person from the start to now and what they want to achieve. So you look at their history. We look at their history as far as their chronic health issues, their behavioral health issues, or maybe you don't think you have behavioral health issues, but you have a history of being around it where it could affect you. So if you really look at that and make yourself really a wellness journal, and then you can actually put the pieces of the puzzle together to figure out how to heal.
So it's self-healing.
It's self-healing, and myself, and I'm actually have one member that I've hired this year as a part of my team, a certified peer specialist. We actually are people that help you figure things out, because when you put it down, even when you put it down and it relates to you, you don't know what to do with it. Well,
so once you figured it out, now you're trying to come up with a plan.
Exactly. And that's why I say plan of care, because we're flipping things around where we seriously take the plan of care. You do it in hospitals and facilities, but outside of that, you don't really have some entity like mine that can help you look at the things that have gone on. Make a plan of healing based on not just what's going on right at the moment. I'm going through grief. That's the only thing that's affected me. That's not true for most of us.
And so, it's interesting because I think there have been so many things where kids have been exposed to certain things. And sometimes people don't acknowledge it. I guess my question would be, is there, how long does it take for someone to determine I have an issue? If you're working with them, how would they first come into your program? These are things that I'm experiencing. Like, what does that look like? Because if you have repressed things, or if you haven't acknowledged certain things, and how, or if you acknowledge it and you said, it is what it is, but I'm moving past that. How does your program help, and how long is that program? Because I'm assuming, this sounds a little bit more like counseling. Because if you're having to pull it out, how many sessions does that take to, for someone to actually even say, this is an actual problem. I'm acknowledging that problem, and now I am prepared to move past it. Or are they coming to you because you're hosting certain events, and then they say, wait, her story sounds like mine. Like, what does it look like?
And to tell you the truth, the latter of what you said is usually the case, where people don't always acknowledge. They put on a pretty face. They dress well. They buy pretty things, and they don't acknowledge that there's something going on inside that other people don't see. Unfortunately, I get some people who are in crisis, or I get people, yes, because I'm a mental health advocate, and now the voice that little girl didn't use to talk about things going on, with her as far as perpetrators, I'm using my voice to tell my story. I tell my story on social media. I tell my story on podcasts, on radio shows. I tell my story by writing letters through other entities like NAMI and writing to our legislators, because it takes the whole community. This thing has affected job security. It's affected. So, hey, if you're an employer and you want to improve your bottom line, you really need to invest in trauma-informed care when it comes to people who work for you. A lot of people who call in actually have mental health situations.
And that's interesting you say that, because how many employers, because, just from, a business standpoint, would be willing to invest in a trauma-informed care? Because would they spend it on certain employees if they're trying to increase productivity, or is it something they don't even want to touch because now you're bringing something from the past? What does that look like?
Well, when it comes to employers, it's going to look a little different.
Okay.
It's going to look a little different. I do have something set up where I can do sessions with our employees, or I can do one-time presentations with employees, and it doesn't have to be as intense as it sounds, because, let's get real. Sometimes when people hear mental health crisis, trauma, they want to run away, because they think that if you run away, it's going to go away.
Well, first of all, it's a natural reaction when you hear trauma. Absolutely. But I think from a community standpoint, we've gotten a lot better when you start talking about mental health. Now, your name is significant, and you naming your life coaching program that. Now, does that translate over to the corporate space? Are they embracing, do you deal directly with just African American women, because you say Black Butterfly, or is that just, what is that, what's the significance of that name and how it relates to your target market?
Okay, so the thing is, initially my focus was Black women, and because I can relate. Right? However, just like a butterfly is transformed, because I've been getting, there are people that don't look like me that listen to me, that want to get the information that I don't mind imparting, so that they can be on their journey.
You broaden who your target market is.
Yeah, most definitely. I'm not going to turn anybody away, because that's just not who I am. And this thing is so big, it's actually considered a global crisis. The WHO is always talking about, the World Health Organization is always talking about the crisis when it comes to mental health and those sorts of things. Just to kind of give you an idea, a lot of times you'll notice some people say, oh, that's for this person, not for us. It makes no sense. So I'm a psychiatric nurse, and I see all kind of cultures. All kind of ages.
Absolutely.
All kind of, people who have no jobs and they're homeless, and I see people who have PhDs and MDs.
So I want to pivot just slightly before we run out of time. So I know, just to define your target market, they're older women, ideally. Now, if we're talking about childhood trauma and how to address so that you are successful in your business, your life, your career, whatever it is, why are we not talking to the youth?
And actually, I do that too.
Okay.
There's really an umbrella of collaborations that I have going on that I've had in the past and that I'm expounding upon.
Okay.
And
because let me ask you this. There was, statistics saying that we now have more black girls, more African American girls who have I don't know how do you say it, suicide ideation, or attempted suicide than we have ever seen, ever.
Yes.
I always say I attribute it to social media. I don't necessarily know or think of it as childhood trauma. I think of it as they're comparing themselves too much to these things that they see online, and they're not even real. However, because you're seeing that most of the issues that present themselves in adult life are, again, related to things that are happening with our youth. Tell me what you're seeing in that space. Are you also seeing as a psychiatric nurse, are the patients younger? Do you see more African American population than you have? It has changed. And how do you guys? So I know you mentioned you as an individual and collaborative experiences, but if we're really wanting to tap that market where we're really getting them before they start entering the workspace, it seems like we would shift it just a little bit more and put that as a priority.
Right. And the children are just like the adults. There are so many different demographics. And what I'm noticing, because we do have an adolescent unit where I work, and what I'm noticing is the combination of the experiences plus the exposure, like you said, on social media. Exactly. So you already have a difficult time processing who you are, how you feel about yourself, and all of that when you're kind of, in your own little environment.
So the crisis that you're seeing as it relates to adults actually might be expounded more because now you have these children who are overexposed, who are not understanding how to basically navigate this space because we don't have enough people like you guys who are actually touching them and reaching out and communicating and making sure they understand how to process. Because if they, even the ideation, even the attempted, that in itself creates a trauma.
Right. And it's usually because of something prior. One of the ways I explain it to people, and a lot of people are familiar with a pain scale if you have any kind of procedures. So what the pain scale is for a nurse is this. We ask you 0 to 10, rate your pain. We do that for a reason. Say 0 is no pain, 10 is the worst you can imagine, because what we know is if you can catch it in time, right about midway or right below midway, is more likely to be better pain control. And I feel like that's the same with mental health. Like you said, the youth part is important. If we can catch it soon enough, and some of this stuff is obvious. If a child goes into foster care and they had something going on in their household, doesn't mean that we need to get them some therapy right away and be intense because we know the ramifications.
Right. So, listen, mental health advocate, founder of Black Butterfly Queens Life Coaching, Demetria Winters. How do people find you?
You can find me on Facebook. If you look me up, Demetria Winters or Black Butterfly Queens Life Coaching, that is my page. I also have a support group for Black women, specifically a safe space. And when you connect to me, Demetria Winters, then you'll connect to the rest of those on Facebook. On Instagram, if you look up BBQ Life Coach, then you'll see me. and you'll be able to connect to me that way. And also go straight to my website, which is www.bbqlifecoach.com, or call me at 404-380-2443.
Thank you. And this has been another episode of Women Live TV. I am Ariel Shaw, founder and president of Southern Crescent Women in Business. Thank you so much, Demetria, and I applaud your work.
And thank you for having me. It's so important. And thank you for giving us, everybody, a platform for this.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Magazine release party today at Pure Zen, that's in McDonough. In addition to that, she's gonna launch her personal brand.
Sylvia, you look flawless on your cover, honey. I love it. It is definitely delicious.
We're here to celebrate the amazing, great Sylvia the Advocate. I want to congratulate her for her magazine cover for Southern Crescent Women in Business magazine reveal.
We are having a good time here at Sylvia's magazine launch party.
I am the woman that I am today by watching her. So here's to you, sis.
Well, I think she looks fabulous in it. That particular dress had to be very fitted in order for it to look right. It would not have draped properly if it hadn't.
I did her makeup for the magazine button and the photo shoot, so I'm very excited to see the reveal.
We are just so appreciative to her and her advocacy work for caregivers all over the world.
I am so excited and happy for Sylvia. I've been knowing her for several years. I'm just here to celebrate her and her journey and everything that she's doing tonight.
We have been in this organization for several years, and I just love her. I love her energy, and I also love the passion that she has for what she does.
I just want to tell her congratulations, and may she excel in strength and to do whatever she's doing, and may God continue to bless and keep her.
Extreme Fun on Wheels Atlanta is a unique and exciting entertainment experience that offers a variety of activities for all ages. They provide an innovative approach to traditional party events by bringing the fun right to your doorstep. Extreme Fun on Wheels offers a range of services, including laser tag, video game trucks, tailgating, party bus, and much more. Their team, highly experienced in creating memorable experiences for all types of events, including birthday parties, corporate events, and team building activities. With their state-of-the-art equipment and experienced team, they provide an unparalleled level of fun and excitement that will leave their guests talking about their experience long after the event is over. Whether you're looking for something unique for your child's birthday party or a fun-filled activity for your office retreat, Extreme Fun on Wheels Atlanta has got you covered. They are committed to providing exceptional service and delivering unforgettable experiences that will leave everyone wanting more.
Are you worried about tax time? Are you concerned you're not getting or keeping what's rightfully yours? You work hard for your money, whether you're an employee or you run your own business. So it's vital to make sure your money works hard for you. That's why, when it comes to tax time, you need the services of a qualified accountant who can make sure the tax balance will go in your favor. Our staff are not only qualified to deal with even the most complex tax situations, they are also competent and professional and doggedly determined to ensure you receive everything you're entitled to, down to the last penny. So when it comes to tax time, you don't have to go it alone against the tax man, because when we're on your side, you can be sure your financial affairs are in good hands. For complete peace of mind at tax time, contact us today